I was going to title this live stream Rashee Rice is going to jail because that's the God honest truth, right? It's been a horrible day for Rice. We learn the man's going to jail, and then it gets that much worse. We already have people coping saying, oh, okay, well, he's not going to get suspended. He's going to be fine, just 30 days in jail, who cares? And then what ends up happening afterwards? Oh, you wait 2-3 hours. We get to digest the news that Rashee Rice going to jail for failing probation, getting popped on a drug test. I already had moved Rashee Rice down my rankings past A.J. Brown, moving Rashee Rice from a late second round pick to a middle of the third round pick. And then we get another report. We get a report, and I'll pull this up for you, that Rashee Rice isn't just going to jail. Rashee Rice at the same time is getting surgery. So this dude may or may not just be cooked. It may or may not be over. I moved him down my rankings again. But yeah, let's look at the Shefty report. It says 1 week before being ordered to serve 30 days in jail, Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice underwent a cleanup surgery on his right knee to remove loose debris that was causing inflammation and is now expected to sideline him for 2 months. I honestly think that this is a super interesting chat that just got sent in. The Chiefs need A.J. Brown. So what a lot of people are discussing right now, and oh my gosh, look at this. We have JSN falling to pick 7 in this draft. This may be a super interesting one. But a lot of people are discussing, oh, the Kansas City Chiefs, they're going to go ahead. They are going to sign Stephon Diggs, right? Go and draft Stephon Diggs aggressively right now because he's going to be a Kansas City Chief. Maybe they need to go for the nuclear option. Maybe they need to say, you know what? Let's try to one-up Diana Rossini and the New England Patriots and see if we can get A.J. Brown. Like, obviously, Tyreek being pointed to KC is something else that people are discussing. So I will talk about exactly where we have him ranked. You'll see with the flockfantasy.com draft assistant as well, where we have in our rankings when that comes up. I'm starting this draft off with CeeDee Lamb, Devon Achane. Maybe we have to consider taking Rice at 34 or 39, but we'll see where he goes because we're going to be doing a bunch of drafts tonight, obviously, and we will see the adjustment as well. Where I already moved Travis Kelce in my rankings. I already moved Xavier Worthy in my rankings. I did move Mahomes down ever so slightly. Let me show you exactly how much Rashee Rice I've drafted so far this season. I've drafted Rashee Rice in 8.1% of my drafts, and I've drafted Drake London in 15%. Reason being is I had Drake London ranked ahead of Rashee Rice before all this stuff happened. And I think obviously now everybody's going to have that same thing. But obviously we'll talk about it all. I do need to beg y'all though, like I am a small child. Hit the like button if you have not done so already. If we hit 400 likes in this live stream, we're going to be ripping a 4th draft tonight, not just 3. And subscribe to the channel. We are live streaming every single night, real money fantasy football drafts. If you hit the bell next to the subscribe button, YouTube's going to tell you when we go live. And if you want to draft with us, all of these drafts are on Underdog Fantasy. The structure of the tournament that we are in right now, this is the puppy draft. It is a $5 buy-in, $1 million prize pool, 100K to first, 50,000 to second, all the way down the line. How you turn your $5 into 100,000 is you got to be a top 2 scoring team in this 12-team draft in the regular season. Then in week 15, you go up against 9 other people. If you beat them, you advance to week 16, where you go up against 5 other people. And if you beat them, you go to week 17, where there is a 625-person final. And if you beat them, you turn $5 into 100K. I have won multiple Underdog tournaments. I have profited over $127,000 on Underdog myself. However, I've never been able to win this tournament specifically. We have had a member of the flock do it before though. So yeah, if you wanted to draft with us, links always in the description. It's in the comment section. It's in the live chat. If you use code FLOCK when you sign up to Underdog Fantasy, you will get $50 added to your account after you play your first 5. Plus, you'll get access to all the Flock Fantasy best ball tools and all of my best ball rankings as well for free. Again, the link is in the description. It's in the comment section. And Underdog Fantasy is available in damn near every state. Yes, it's in Cali. Yes, it's in Texas. Yes, it's in New York. Yes, it's in Florida. But we don't even have to consider Rashee Rice in this one because Rashee Rice goes at pick 21. Now, as I am rocking the Rashee Rice jersey right now, I will tell you one thing. You don't want to be the guy taking Rashee Rice at pick 21 in these drafts tonight. Whether I have him ranked too low with where we have Travis Etienne as the highest ranked player here, we'll go ahead and take him. Whether I have Rashee Rice ranked too low, that may be a discussion for another draft. But to take Rice ahead of Trey McBride, Josh Jacobs, George Pickens, A.J. Brown, Nico, I don't even think you can take him over Nico. Like, I don't think that's excusable, to be honest. My highest ranked player is going to be Javonte. We only have one wide receiver, though. Egbuka's in play as well. We'll take Javonte Williams here at pick 39. It's going to be a super interesting build, us going with the anchor wide receiver, then ripping 3 running backs off. As of now, the draft assistant is showing us that historically, we probably want to be looking at 7 or 8 receivers here. Running back wise, we're looking at 4 or 5 running backs. Quarterback, we're most likely going to stay with 3. And then tight end, we of course want 3 based off what we have done. But that draft assistant will update as this draft goes on. But Shadur McSanders says, Rice is my second most drafted receiver. I am sorry to hear that, my friend. I don't think this first draft is going to be indicative of where we are going to expect the Rashee Rice ADP to line up. Because, I mean, if y'all remember the last time we titled the live stream, Player X is cooked, was Malik Neighbors, right? The second that the Malik Neighbors surgery news happened, I moved Malik Neighbors down from where he had an ADP in the middle of round 2 to being a round 3 pick in my rankings. But in that first draft night, we had 3 drafts done, and every single one of those, Rashee Rice went in the middle of the second round, maybe the end of the second round, as if nothing had happened. We'll see if that's the continued trend tonight with Rashee Rice specifically. I don't expect that to be the case. I'd expect maybe we get some adjustment where he is now all of a sudden a round 3 pick, but I'll pull up my exact rankings on flockfantasy.com. Obviously, if y'all been drafting with the draft assistant, y'all have already seen them updated, but let me go ahead and pull this up. I also moved Rashee Rice down my dynasty rankings on flockfantasy.com as well. I moved Rashee Rice below Tedero McMillan. Rashee Rice is now in the Zay Flowers, Garrett Wilson range for me. Again, I think he plays week 1. So I can't nuke him into all of a sudden we're taking Terry McLaurin instead. Because this dude does have a crazy high ceiling. But with all the off the field stuff that you have to deal with, and the fact that maybe with him missing OTAs and maybe with him missing a considerable amount of time and him literally being in jail, the Kansas City Chiefs go, you know what? Let's not have our entire game plan centered around Rashee Rice. I think that's a very real concern that you have to have. Now, moving over, my highest ranked wide receiver is going to be DJ Moore. If we don't get DJ Moore, I'm going to reach on my next highest ranked receiver, which is Carnell Tate, but only one wide receiver through the first 4 rounds. I'm not going to fool myself. We need wide receivers desperately. I want to go wide receiver here at the turn. We'll take Carnell Tate at pick 58. My name Jeff says he just went at pick 30 in his underdog draft. Yeah, let me know if y'all have done any drafts tonight and where Rashee Rice has gone in those. We'll see where he goes in the next few drafts that we get in. My next highest ranked wide receiver is going to be Jordan Tyson. We will take him here, and we will have the wide receiver that went at pick 4 overall in the NFL draft and the other guy that went inside the top 10 at a very reasonable cost at pick 58 and 63 in this. But Nick says, is there a risk he gets suspended again? I would say that it's unlikely that, like, if we were just playing out this season 1,000 times, out of those 1,000 times, how many of those outcomes end in a result of Rashee Rice being suspended? Less than 500 in my mind. Maybe 100, maybe 200. I was talking with Davis Maddock earlier, and he was bringing up the possibility of like the worst case scenario of the Kansas City Chiefs going, you know what? It's the last year of his rookie deal. We can't get away from this dude. He's just he can't put it together. Is there a scenario in which they cut him? I think that does exist if he is just being a menace off the field, continuing through the rest of the offseason. Is that super likely either? No, but like you don't have to worry about that with Nico Collins. What concern does Chris Olave have? Max says it doesn't seem like Mason Noe's out for the first 2 months. He's not out for the first 2 months, my friend. You read that report incorrectly. Rashee Rice is out for the next 2 months, but right now it's May. So presumably Rashee Rice is out in June and July. The Shefty report did not say that he's out the first 2 months of the season. If Rashee Rice was out the first 2 months of the season, this dude would possibly still be available to be selected in this draft. Okay. So my expectations are Rashee Rice is playing week 1. But I don't think I can take him over Nico Collins. There's no way I'm doing that at this point. Okay. Now, Snowy says, is there a post where we can see your underdog draft winnings from last year? Yeah, if you go ahead and look at the live stream titled Revealing How Much Money I Won in Fantasy Football Drafts Last Season, I broke it down in the live stream and I showed you all the numbers. I profited about, I think, 27,000 in these underdog drafts last year. So if you're using my rankings, I have Tony Pollard, Jordan Addison, Michael Wilson as the top 2 names. So I'm going to be trying to intentionally fade Parker Washington here. Parker Washington does indeed go. We will take Tony Pollard. What's going to be interesting is, does the tool all of a sudden want us going with only 4 running backs, knowing that we took Etienne, Javonte, and Pollard? 4 running backs and 5 running backs have great advance rate, semifinals rate, and finals rates. But it looks like wide receiver-wise, 7 wide receivers is still maybe optimal for us, so we can get away with taking a 5th RB. Now, looking at my rankings, RJ Harvey is the highest-ranked player, then Quentin Johnston. We have Jaden Reed a little lower. In terms of the stacking options that we have at quarterback, they really don't exist at this point. So I'm maybe going to go ahead and reach. Now, even though I do have Quentin Johnston ranked over Jaden Reed, you can see I've only drafted Jaden Reed in 2.7% of these drafts in comparison to Quentin Johnston in 24%. The thought process in us having to take Jaden Reed will be that we need to give ourselves stacking options of like Jordan Love in the next round. And we're not going to get Justin Herbert in the next round. Justin Herbert's, I believe, already off the board, right? So if Herbert's already gone, there's no leverage that we get in taking Quentin Johnston with this pick. Technically, I also do have RJ Harvey ranked over Jaden Reed, but with us investing into Achane, Etienne, Javonte, and Pollard by this point, I don't really want to be taking another running back anytime soon. So, don't love Jaden Reed. Only have him 2.5% of drafts, but taking him here does give us the optionality, again, of deciding to go ahead and take Jordan Love at the next turn. Okay. Tyler says, I could. If he's not suspended, Nico hasn't done anything in several years. This is honestly one of the main reasons we made flockfantasy.com, because, like, I don't understand how people can come through and just put statements out there as if that's true. When you say Nico Collins has not done anything in several years, Nico Collins has been a top 10 wide receiver in points per game for 3 seasons straight. What are we talking about? This is doing nothing? Wide receiver 6 in points per game in 2023. Wide receiver 9 in points. He averaged 17.5 fantasy points per game in 2024. What's the highest points per game mark we've ever had from Rice? 18.76, 1 point per game difference. One of these guys has no off the field concerns. One of these other guys is having surgery right now and going to jail. Yeah, that is what we call 10 out of 10 rage bait. Like, I can't imagine taking Rice ahead of Nico at this point. Kittle off the board at pick 102. We have yet to take a tight end. We have yet to take a quarterback. We are 3 picks away. If you were looking at my highest ranked names, I have Laporta, Chris Rodriguez, Kyle Pitts. We are a little bit lower on J.K. Dobbins. You can see this as well. We've only drafted him in 4% of our drafts. I would have taken Laporta here to give us the optionality to potentially go ahead and take Goff in the next round. But I think what we're going to do instead is we're going to reach on Jordan Love. Because we reach on Love here. Let me just make sure. Yeah, there's no Olave team behind us. And we have both the combination of Tyson as well as Travis Etienne. So if we reach on Jordan Love with this pick, we're going to get Jordan Love stacked with Jaden Reed. And then we'll reach on Tyler Shuck with the next pick at 111. And we'll have Tyler Shuck double stacked with Jordan Tyson and Travis Etienne. Now, am I going to sit here and act like we just drafted the best team known to man? No. It is what it is. It's whatever. We'll try to go through and look back in a time machine and figure out how we could have made this better. But I have Kyler ranked over these quarterbacks. I have Goff ranked over Shuck. But again, like the ADP gap between these players is going to be 8 picks. And we have no stacks for one and we have 2 stacks for the other. So we'll take Love and Tyler Shuck. And now running back, we have Achane, Etienne, Javonte, Tony Pollard. Wide receiver, we have CeeDee Lamb, Carnell Tate, Jordan Tyson, Jaden Reed. Quarterback, we have Jordan Love, Tyler Shuck. The offenses that we are going hard into with this team so far will be the Dallas Cowboys, where we have both CeeDee Lamb as well as Javonte Williams. Will be the New Orleans Saints, where we have Travis Etienne, Jordan Tyson, and Tyler Shuck. Will also be the Tennessee Titans, where we have Carnell Tate and Tony Pollard. And the Green Bay Packers, where we have Jaden Reed as well as Jordan Love. W. Nick says, is A.J. Brown better as a Chief or a Patriot? Spam the chat. If you were drafting A.J. Brown, here, let me say one thing real quick. While I think it's fun to sit here and dream of A.J. Brown being a Kansas City Chief with Patrick Mahomes, the most likely outcome for A.J. Brown is he's still very much a New England Patriot, right? I think that's most likely what is going to happen. But spam the chat and let me know, what would you rather see? If you're drafting A.J. Brown right now in the 3rd round, would you rather him get traded to the Kansas City Chiefs or the New England Patriots? Not what you think's most likely, but what would you rather have? Okay. We have Patriots, Patriots, Chiefs, Patriots, 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 Chiefs, Patriots. Okay. Patriots, Chief, Patriots, 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 Patriots. Mahomes is uncertain right now. So it's super interesting. I honestly thought you would be more split on that than it seems like the majority of the chat is on the Patriots in that instance. I honestly think either outcome would be great, and I think his cost would remain a 3rd round pick with where he's going. Okay, we have Mark Andrews off the board, 125. Let's swing this around. I already know the draft assistant's going to tell us that we want a 3rd quarterback here with having Tyler Shuck and Jordan Love as our first 2. Yeah, we still want 3 QBs, 5 running backs, 7 receivers, 3 tight ends. Looking at my rankings, I have Omar Cooper as the highest ranked wide receiver on the board. Obviously, there's a good shot that we get him in the next round, though. Then we have Stephon Diggs moved up our rankings dramatically as well. Like my 3 highest ranked wide receivers, it's not Jaden Higgins, it's not Jalen Coker, it's not Shaheed. It's actually Omar Cooper, Stephon Diggs, and Travis Hunter. We could take Malik Willis and go, what happens if we get enough rushing upside? We could go Jaden Higgins, though, and then look at CJ Stroud later. So because I think it's a more unique pick, and also Jaden Higgins gives us the Week 17 bring back for the Green Bay Packers. Let me double check. Yeah, I have Week 17 turned on to the draft assistant. We are going to take Jaden Higgins instead. Y'all can tell I'm not lying to y'all about my rankings. Y'all see him here. I also have Travis Hunter in 19% of these drafts, Omar Cooper in 15%, Stephon Diggs in 8%. I only add Jaden Higgins in 5%. But I think given the team construction and the setup for potential stacks later, it probably does make more sense for us to take Jaden Higgins specifically. And then our next pick, here's where things get a little interesting. Is there any chance that we have Cam Ward or CJ Stroud making it to us at 154? we're going to take Omar Cooper. I don't know what the right call is there. Omar Cooper is my highest ranked player. Getting the round, you know what? Omar Cooper is a horrible pick. I'm going to keep it this simple as well. Given our team construction, knowing that we already are built around the other rookie wide receivers with Cardinal Tate, Jordan Tyson, I think we already have plenty of upside for late season that taking another rookie wide receiver here as somebody that we're actually going to have to rely upon, probably not the right move. So I think what we should have done instead is we should have taken a quarterback. We shouldn't have rolled the dice thinking that we could potentially get one on the way back. Because again, I don't know if I don't know if we would have to rely upon 3 rookie wide receivers. I like the cost of them in general. Like, I'm completely fine taking Cardinal Tate with where he goes. I'm completely fine taking Jordan Tyson with where he goes. As y'all can tell, I have Omar Cooper as my highest ranked option there. Just taking all 3 of them on the same team over getting the solid third quarterback probably doesn't make enough sense. Okay. Now, let's see. Ian says, yo, do you get flockfantasy.com for free if you sign up for Underdog with a certain code? So if you sign up to Underdog Fantasy with code FLOCK, you will get the best ball tools for free on flockfantasy.com, but you won't get everything for free. Like, you won't get the dynasty rankings or that stuff, but you should get the best ball tools, the best ball portfolio view, the best ball rankings, specifically to help you in all these Underdog drafts. But let me know if that makes sense. Okay. Jeep Guy says, what is Team 4 doing? Team 4 has Puka, Rice, Neighbors, Concepcion, Shaheed at receiver. They have Jalen Hurts unstacked at QB, Caleb unstacked, Dart as their third name. They have Kelsey at tight end. Yeah, it looks pretty. Actually, I guess they have Dart stacked with Scattaboo as well as Neighbors. Zach says, I got to be honest. I don't think the Rashee Rice news is going to impact my 2026 projections. What about you? 100% it will. It would have been different if it was just the news regarding him going to jail. But combined the jail news with him having surgery and it's going to hold him out 2 months. I don't know how the Chiefs go into the season and say, like, hey, our number one plan to build our offense around somebody is Rashee. So I'm letting it impact my expectations for Rashee Rice this season. Now, we're going to take Woody Marks here at 154, and then we're done at running back, and then we're most likely going to get a tight end on the way back. If we don't, it's not going to be the... Actually, we'll get TJ Hawkinson, and we have the bring back with Omar Cooper with the Week 17 matchup. Okay. Brian Robinson. So, actually, TJ Hawkinson does go, but we can get Jawan Johnson at tight end, who is my highest ranked player, and at the same time, he does stack with Tyler Shuck. But... let's pull this around. Zach says, I guess I'm trying to figure out how it changes their offense at all for week 1. For me, again, I think if you're the Kansas City Chiefs and you're Andy Reid, to go into the season and to plan to center around the center of your offense to get Rashee Rice the ball, I don't see how you could do that with somebody that is this unreliable at this point. It's the last year of his rookie contract as well. Maybe I'm overstating it, but I think given the amount of risk and the fact that he is a liability, I can't take, there's no part of me could consider taking him in round 2. Okay. Let's pull this down. Bass says, do you think any of the free agent veteran receivers, Diggs, Tyreek, Allen, Debo, will be big fantasy values if they sign with KC? I think it just goes wide receiver by wide receiver, right? I'm assuming when, like, Tyreek as an example. Tyreek is almost landing spot independent of if he's going to be a value or not with where he's going in round 17 and round 18 of these drafts. If the Kansas City Chiefs pay Tyreek Hill good money, indicating that they got him in the building and he is healthy, he is going to be the best value in all of drafts right now. But that doesn't really hinge on the Kansas City Chiefs. I would say if the Carolina Panthers got Tyreek Hill in the building and paid him good money, indicating that he's healthy, he is also still going to be the biggest value in drafts in round 17 and 18. It's almost almost regardless of landing spot. Obviously, you'd much prefer him with the Kansas City Chiefs other than a team like the Carolina Panthers. But what you would need in that instance specifically is just him to be healthy. I think that's the only thing that matters. Okay. Now, we'll pull this back. We have Calvin Ridley as our highest ranked name. We also have Tate as well as Pollard. The teams after us, this team has Kyler and Malik Willis, so they're definitely in play to take a quarterback. Let me see. They have Garrett Wilson as well. So if we were to pass on Geno, we're not getting Geno on the way back. Geno Smith goes 177. So the last guaranteed starting quarterback here is going to be Rodgers. We'll take Rodgers as our QB3. This team took 4 quarterbacks with Burrow, Sam Darnold, Bryce Young, and Geno Smith. Very confusing to me. Don't ask me why they did it, but it is what they did. And crap, please. I completely lost this message. Cheeky Opson, let me know if you are in the chat still. Cheeky, please let me know if you're still here. I am going to reach on Pat Frymuth. If you look at my rankings, I have Frymuth up here with Kate Otten anyway. So while it's technically a reach, I don't really think it matters much. We need a tight end. We have Aaron Rodgers as well. Okay. Cheeky says I am here. Okay, perfect. So I know you asked about the Flock meetup. And if y'all don't know, Cheeky Opson has made it to every Flock Fantasy meetup since 2020. He is the literal man. Always the most stripping at the Flock meetup as well, as y'all know, or some of y'all may know. Let me pull up the exact date for you, my guy, because I am almost certain that the Flock League meetup is going to be August 16th in Austin, Texas. I think right now it's planned to be August 16th in Austin, Texas. But I appreciate you as always, and I hope to see you there, my friend. Now, Zach says 2 questions I would ask. First, do you think he misses any time for this incident this offseason? Second, who do you think they feature if not Rice? I think 1, they probably lean a little bit more on the run. 2, I actually think if you look at the efficiency of Kelsey, while Kelsey had some pretty bad plays that cost them big games last year, Kelsey was still a tight end seeing a considerable amount of volume whenever you had Patrick Mahomes healthy. And then 3, if Xavier Worthy doesn't have the torn labrum, I do think Worthy, who was a very intriguing prospect coming out, could potentially be more involved this season. So I do think that Rashee Rice is more likely than not good to go week 1. Is it a 100% certainty? Of course not. I think it's like I said this earlier in the live stream, but if we played out this season 1,000 times, more than 500 of those times, we have no suspension and no injury leading into week 1. So the most likely outcome for Rice is he is starting week 1 as a Kansas City Chief. But again, the risk in comparison to drafting Nico Collins, I don't know if we could do it. Now, Cheeky Opson says August 16th is a Sunday. It's either going to be a Sunday. If it's a Sunday, that makes sense. It's definitely going to be on the weekend. It's Saturday or Sunday. Disbanded Brother says 2-game suspension. I'm not saying there's a 0% possibility of a suspension. Because if this was just a random player, I think it would be almost a non-story. But it's just somebody with the continued history, right? Where with Rice as well, he had charges pressed against him earlier this offseason. Those charges ended up getting dropped, but it is every couple months, it's something with Rashee. Okay. You should have listened to Stephen A. But let's see. Braylon Allen goes 198. We need another tight end and we need another wide receiver. Let me check the draft assistant one more time. But yeah, we need one more receiver and we need one more tight end. Eli Stowers has continued to fall, which honestly I do think makes a lot of sense. I think Eli Stowers is an okay pick given our team construction with a couple olds at tight end of Juwan Johnson as well as Pat Frymuth. And we've only drafted him in 2% of drafts so far. And then with our last wide receiver pick, has Kupp already gone? I want an old crusty guy. I'm not taking like an Elijah Surratt when we already have 3 of our wide receivers we're relying upon being rookies. Maybe you can go with an old crusty Malik Washington and just say that he's going to get on the field early. So we'll take Malik Washington here. Okay. Now, overall with the team, is it the best team I've ever drafted? Nah, but it's fine. I think we did well. If I was to go back on anything, maybe it's taking a wide receiver instead of Javonte in the 4th, as I do generally like being a little bit more balanced at wide receiver and running back than we were in these early rounds. I think running back, Achane, Etienne, Javonte, Tony Pollard, and Woody Marks may end up being just a little bit overkill. But let's hop into another draft, ladies. Let's get into another puppy. And I think we're going to have the location error. I knew that was going to happen. Let me enter this on my phone, and then I'll bring it up to the computer. I had to do this before we started live streaming as well. And I think I hear rain outside. And, oh, if I do hear rain, that is beautiful because I did not water the yard this morning, and I don't think my fiance did either. So we need some water on the grass. Let's pull this around, and we are in this draft, and thank God we got pick 1. I'm going to tell you one thing. I ain't taking Rice at 24 or 25. You do you if you want him. But I will not be taking him. Okay. And let's pull this back. SLMBT, yes, the $500 draft got thrown out last night. I will show y'all what an email looks like because we always get this question in the live stream like, oh, what happens if 5 buddies get in one of these $5 underdog drafts and rig it where they draft an unbeatable team to win the $100,000, right? Because anybody, when they first hear about these underdog tournaments, that's their first thought. But that is not possible because Underdog does have a security team with this. So this is what it looks like if you ever get a draft canceled. We're on the clock. I'm going to take Gibbs over Bijan. Again, in general, I'm going to try to flatten out my exposures of these running backs. And I want a lot of Gibbs and I want a lot of Bijan. So this was the draft I got regarding the $500 draft getting canceled last night. I mean, this is the email I got. Hi, Fantasy Flock. We're reaching out to let you know we had to cancel one of your the Big Dog best ball drafts. The canceled draft was drafted on May 18th at this time. The draft roster consists of these players. Every draft is subject to our integrity testing, and because this draft raised multiple security flags, we had to remove it from the tournament. We understand the frustration of having put in the time into the draft, but contest integrity is our top priority. The entry fee has been refunded to your account, and you should be able to see this reflected in your transaction history. So I got that email this morning at 7:55. And so I woke up, saw the email, checked my account. I had the $500 thrown back in. So it was frustrating. Obviously, Fuzzy screwed us on that one, but it is what it is. And then obviously I have no way of knowing what happened to the Fuzzy dude and if he got banned or not. Jeep Guy loves the helmet wall. Thank you, my friend. Let me know if y'all like the new studio setup or not. We'll have more helmets coming soon. Don't worry. We'll have more. But let's see. Richard says, is the Flock meetup for the public? 100%. I would love to have you there. I'll give you more information about it soon. However, for now, just plan on, if you wanted to be there, it's going to be the Flock League meetup. So pretty sure everybody from the Flock League will be there unless somebody has to maybe head back early if they have something personal. pretty much plan on everybody being there. And it'll be August 16th in Austin, Texas. And it will either be free, or if it's limited capacity, it will be like $3, $5, just enough for us to essentially have people RSVP so we know how many people are going to be there if we can only get a place that sits like 100 people or something. And Nicholas says, Devon Achane 107. Yeah, JSN goes 106 in this draft. Connor says they're a flock helmet. Yes, sir. There are multiple flock helmets. Braden likes the rug. I love the rug, my friend. Okay. Jeep guys, so you're going to fly me out so I can draft in the flock league, right? Hey, win the fan competition, my friend. If you win the fan audition for the flock league, I will 100% fly you out for you to get in here. But we have Genty going 15, Derrick Henry 16, Saquon Barkley 17. And yeah, I think it's raining outside. Thank God. Let me pull up my phone. Yep, raining. Ooh, we're getting a good thunderstorm too. Good. It looks like it won't rain tomorrow. It'll be cool tomorrow too. Oh gosh, look at this. I don't know if y'all can see that. It's supposed to rain every single day this week, which I hope that is true. Okay. Now, Jeremiah Love goes at 21. Pickens goes 22. So we are going to get one of the elite tight ends. If you were looking at my rankings, I have Brock Bowers, Trey McBride, Malik Neighbors, Nico Collins, Devonta Smith as my highest ranked names. I'm going to take the combination of Brock Bowers as well as Malik Neighbors here. Again, we were fading Neighbors when he was going in round 2. We were drafting him very rarely. But right when we got the report of the second surgery, we went ahead and moved him in our rankings to the top of round 3. And that is where we are most likely to keep him unless we get some additional bad news. Demonic Seller says, I think it's raining. Let me pull out my phone. Would you rather me leave this live stream, go outside? What's the alternative, my friend? Okay. Clarence says, I think you have a stalker on your hands with Vinny. No, Vinny's actually my roommate. Vinny lives in my attic and may or may not be my fiance. Okay. Now, Breece Hall goes at pick 32. So that team at 8 starts with the 3 running back build of Taylor, Barkley, and Breece. I think Taylor Barkley is probably going to be a pretty unique combo. Let me see if I have that combo in any of these drafts, actually. Let me see my own team. Why is it saying failed to load combos? Come on, you going to make me refresh? Don't tell me the rain's messing with me here. Oh, God. Come on, Underdog. Don't do this to me. Do not do this to me. Okay. Gotta log back in. Trying to determine my location. That's how you know it's raining. My computer starts shutting down. Slim says, is London Bowers unique? It absolutely has to be. I mean, London goes to the middle of round 2. Bowers goes to the end of round 2 in almost every one of these drafts. That definitely has to be a unique combo. Okay, drafts. Active. Okay, we back in. Thank God. Thank God. I was a little scared there, ladies and gentlemen. I was a little scared. I'm going to be honest with you. We're about to be on the clock again. Okay, so looking at these combos, I've taken Jahmyr Gibbs and Brock Bowers in 2 of my 74 drafts together. I've taken Gibbs, Bowers, and Malik Neighbors in 0 of my 74 drafts together. I've taken Bowers and Neighbors in 0 of them. So pretty unique team for me specifically. Okay. Demonic Seller says phone app over the shoulders stream. Yes, 100%. Bucky Irving off at 45. If you're using my rankings, you'll see that I have Jalen Waddle, Colson Loveland, Trevion as my top 3. I am not going to say anything until we're on the clock, though. I don't know if this team at 2 is in this draft with us. They go Mike Evans. We are not ever taking Colson Loveland when we have Brock Bowers and we have Trey McBride. My 2 highest ranked players are going to be Jalen Waddle and Trevion Henderson. We will grab both of them here. And you do have the Week 17 matchup as well between the Denver Broncos and the New England Patriots. Okay. Steven says, if you took McBride and Bowers, would have been a riot. Fun to think about. So the reason I would hate taking Bowers and McBride together is you essentially have to bank on them being like filling your flex spot weekly, which obviously choice of words here, not intending to be like this, but it takes away a lot of flexibility for your roster construction week to week. Like, I want the ability for a third running back to be hitting my lineup, you know? So I don't love taking somebody in round 3 that essentially has to be hitting my flex. So I'm very rarely going to be taking Bowers and McBride together. I'll take a decent amount of Bowers. I'll take a decent amount of McBride in separate drafts, of course. But I don't necessarily think I'm going to be taking them together. Ryan says, what's your exposure to Brees? I feel like you don't take him too much. I'll pull this up for you, my friend. I have Brees Hall in 5 out of the 74 teams that I have drafted. Brees in 5 of the 74. Okay. So says, I'm trying to hop in one with you. We're definitely going to get in another draft after this. We'll possibly do 4 drafts tonight. If we hit 400 likes on the stream, we are going to be getting a 4th draft in. So make sure you go down there, drop a like on this stream if you have not done so already. Okay. Dak Prescott goes at 63, so the team that got CeeDee Lamb is making sure that they get their stack. Because if they don't take Dak here, they're not going to get him. The team that has Pickens is most likely going to be the one to take him. Okay. Harrison goes 65. So I'm going to definitely try to at least get one wide receiver here at 72, 73. Only having Malik Neighbors, Jalen Waddle, I do think puts us in a pretty tough spot when it comes to our wide receiver points. Now, the difficulty is going to be like, what happens if we find ourselves in a position where wide receiver is very clearly not the best pick? Okay, Chuba Hubbard goes at 70. Tyler Warren off. We're going to take DK Metcalf here at wide receiver. Oh, dear God. And then what do we want to do at quarterback? Like, can I really pass on Drake May for Cortland Sutton? I don't think I can. We are, in a way, built around that New England-Denver Week 17 game. I think that Drake May is just an incredible pick here nonetheless. So we're going to go ahead and take him. I don't know what's the right call there, though, to be honest. Joseph says, how much have you spent in drafts so far this year, and will this be a record year spending on drafts? Last year, we spent so much in these drafts that it would be surprising if this was a record year. I would imagine it's similar to last season, but it's definitely not. It can't be much more. Like, I probably spent, in terms of season-long best ball contest, I probably spent more in entry fees than anybody else on Underdog last year. That's an aggressive statement to have, but there's a chance that that's true. Not saying I did the most drafts, but I do pretty much all the high-stakes drafts. So far, using the best ball portfolio on the site, you'll see that it says I've invested about $1,500, But 500 of that did just get refunded. So I've really spent about $1,076 in entry fees so far. That number will go up significantly. Okay. But I appreciate you, Ice Milk, and hope you're doing well, my friend. Now, Parker Washington off the board at 81. I do not plan on. I'm going to actively try to avoid Parker Washington in these drafts. There are a couple players that I'm actively trying to avoid in these drafts because I can't see them being a player that wins you $2 million in Best Ball Mania, helps you turn $5 into $100,000 in the puppy. And I think that Parker Washington, I don't see the ceiling for him to do that. I think Parker Washington, I'm not saying he's going to be a horrible pick by any means. But like if I fade Parker Washington here, I don't see how he turns into a top 8 wide receiver in fantasy and just melts faces. Okay. Mainly says you can update your ranks in a way where you never see him again. Like, I don't want to fade him to 0%. Very rarely will I do that with the players. Not Gabe Davis from a while ago. If y'all remember, Gabe Davis used to be a round 3 pick, and it was easy to fade him to literally 0% of drafts. But, and the same thing, Kadarius Toney. There was a year we faded Kadarius Toney to like 0% of drafts when he was getting drafted out of Mike Evans because people are excited about his yards per route run. I don't think Parker Washington's that bad of a pick. Don't get me wrong. But I think I could fade him and not have to worry about losing tournaments because of it. Okay. T says, look at his target numbers last year. I'll pull up his flockfantasy.com player card. Okay, Stafford goes 93. Dart goes 94. I would have taken Dart to pair with Malik Neighbors, of course. We're going to take Bo next to pair with Waddle. And then I have literally no idea what to do. No, literally no idea. You know what? We're not doing that. We're taking Mahomes and Worthy. Xavier Worthy was a garbage pick by me last season. Hell, he may end up being a garbage pick by me again this season. But they may have to lean on him a bit more with the Rashee Rice stuff. Is this me just looking for excuses to draft Xavier Worthy because I like him, because he went to the University of Texas? It very easily could be, and I'm not going to try to tell y'all to do the same thing. I'm an idiot. I made a horrible call by drafting a lot of Xavier Worthy in round 5 last season. It's probably a horrible call drafting Xavier Worthy here in round 9. But in my rankings, I'm going to have Mahomes and Worthy here at the 8-9 turn as a fine pairing. Now, looking at the Parker Washington player card, one thing that's an interesting note, in a full PPR format, 1 game with 20 fantasy points last season, 1 game with 20 fantasy points in 2024. So Parker Washington's now going into year 4 of his NFL career, and he's had 2 games with 20 or more fantasy points. He was the wide receiver 39 in points per game last season, the wide receiver 92 in points per game the year prior, and the wide receiver 84 in points per game in 2023. Brian Thomas was a round 1 pick that smashed. Travis Hunter went at number 2 overall in the NFL draft, played like 6 NFL games, and one of them he went over 20 points in. So, again, I understand Travis Hunter very easily could be a cornerback this next year. Parker Washington maybe is close to an every down player. And hell, maybe he is the wide receiver 24 in points per game. And he's a completely fine pick with where he's going. I just don't see this ceiling for him to all of a sudden turn into a top 10 wide receiver. Okay. Yes, the $500 draft from last night did get refunded. Manly Moose says, Mason, I think you're the only fantasy creator that isn't bearish on Jeremiah Love. The unique Genty situation last people has people scared. Yeah, I think the big reason people are scared about Jeremiah Love is twofold. One, what happened to Genty last season, and 2, what also happened to Bijan Robinson in his own rookie season. Okay. Let me see if I can find the construction optimizer. It's saying that 3 quarterbacks could still be in play for us. But I'm going to be honest, I'm probably going to ignore it, and I'm probably only going to go 2. If I do listen to the optimizer, I'm going to take a 3rd quarterback very late, but I don't want to be taking another quarterback anytime soon unless we get a crazy value. Okay. Now, again, we are definitely only taking 2 tight ends. We know that for sure. We have Brock Bowers. Ohio State says, when will the next $500 draft be? I have no idea, my friend. Probably not anytime soon, to be honest with you. Baker Mayfield goes. We're going to get Kelsey. We will stack him with Mahomes. And then my next highest ranked player outside of tight end, which we can't go with, will be Omar Cooper. We could possibly get him in the next round, though. So we'll take the boring pick at Kenneth Gainwell instead. Like, I have Omar ranked at 118, but we don't need to be reaching 30 picks ahead of ADP to grab somebody that we could just get in the next round. So we'll take Gainwell here at 121. And now at running back, we have Jahmyr Gibbs, Trevion Henderson, Kenneth Gainwell. Wide receiver, we have Malik Neighbors, Jalen Waddle, DK Metcalf, Xavier Worthy. We have Drake May and Patrick Mahomes at quarterback. And we have Brock Bowers and Kelsey at tight end. The big concern I have with our team is we don't have enough wide receiver points. I think we're probably too far behind at receiver. At least my optimizer is saying, I'm crushing you, Mason. Guess I'll be the one saying I use the Flock Fantasy tools to win the puppy. I will be very, very happy if you're the one who wins the puppy this year, my friend. Of course, I'd rather it be me, but you'd be close. You'd probably, in terms of the people I'd want to win the puppy this year, me, then Davis / the FSE guys, somebody that actually works on flockfantasy.com. Then some combination of Vinny, Kale, you, Fuji. So you'd be definitely top 10 people I'm wanting to win the puppy this season. Okay. I'm scared, says Mason. With hair of gold, you'd be a Lannister for sure. The few hairs I have left, yes, they are of gold, but I don't think I have enough quantity to be a Lannister. Ryan says, I love the squad so far, but DK and Worthy at wide receiver 3 and 4 are gross. 100% in agreement with you, my friend. The biggest issue that we have for our team is we just simply don't have enough points at wide receiver. Okay. Darnold goes 139. Okay, we're screwed. Travis Hunter goes. We can't take I mean, I guess we could go QB. We definitely can't go tight ends. We're looking at CJ Stroud, Daniel Jones, Bryce Young at quarterback. Wide receiver, Jalen McMillan, Jawan Jennings, Jalen Naylor, Trey Tucker. Running back, Keaton Mitchell, Woody Marks, Isaiah Pacheco. Disgusting. Literally disgusting. Stroud, Daniel Jones, both off the board. Algier goes. Here's the deal. I don't want to be the guy drafting Jalen McMillan. I don't. Ted Hurst could be better. I don't want to be the guy drafting Jawan Jennings. He got paid nothing to go to Washington, and at best, he's the 3rd wide receiver in the offense. But it's stupid simple. We need wide receivers. The guys I would have much preferred would have been Shaheed, Travis Hunter, Stephon Diggs, Omar Cooper. Those names would have been significantly better. But when we get boxed out, there's not much we can do about it. I can sit here and cry, or we can just close our eyes and take the wide receivers that we don't want to. So we will take those names and hate our team. Joseph says, if football really goes international, it'd be a cool thing if there was a puppy like with draft with creators where they could promote and do country drafts, which then promote. Like an international underdog draft, essentially. That would be cool. I know everybody likes Antonio Williams. I'm not a massive Antonio Williams guy. Here's the thing. Because I don't like McMillan, I don't like Juwan Jennings either. I'm not going to be sitting here going like, oh, you can't draft Antonio Williams. By all means, if you want to, go do it. Okay. Britton Strange goes 153. Pacheco 155. Yeah, for us, like what we would have wanted to happen is this massive run of tight ends where in round 13 you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tight ends go in round 13. Why couldn't that happen in round 12? That would have happened in round 12. I'd have been a much happier person. Tristan says, where did Rice go in this one? Rashee Rice in this draft went to Lee Watley at pick 30. He got the Kenneth Walker-Rashee Rice pairing. Ryan says, if you could go back in this draft, would you take a wide receiver instead of Drake May? The wide receiver I would have taken instead of May would have been Cortland Sutton. And then what we would have probably done is we would have had to take Bo Nix at pick like 97, I guess. And, I mean, the wide receivers there are Sutton, Jaden Reed, Parker Washington, Jordan Addison. It's just hard for me to entertain taking those guys over Drake May, who is in his second NFL year last year, was the QB2 in points per game. Okay, Deebo Samuel goes 164. Antonio Williams, 165. Tesla off the board, 166. So the optimal construction for us is telling us that we need saying we can go with 6 running backs possibly. I'm going to take the third QB here with Mendoza. And I don't want to have this much Tajee Spears. I'm not trying to become the freaking Tajee Spears guy of all people. But why do I always end up drafting him? Tajee Spears, 1 20-point game this past season, 2 20-point games the year prior, 2023, 1 20-point game. About to turn 25 years old. I guess he's always been involved in Tennessee. He's always had a receiving role as well. I don't know. I've drafted so much freaking Tennessee Titans this year. So we're gonna take him here. Mendoza, I think, is clearly the pick for us to pair up with Bowers, and it makes sense for us to take a third quarterback here. But like, it would have been different if we had a decent wide receiver making it to us. Like if we could have taken Stribling, if we could have taken Debo. But it is what it is. Ryan says Singleton over Spears. And the thing is, you 100% could be right. Which is why I feel like an idiot for continuing to take Spears where we do. Like, it just seems like it's god-awful. And then again, we're going to hop in another draft after this one tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We are definitely going to get in 3. If we hit 400 likes on the stream, we'll get in a 4th draft. But at the very minimum, we're doing 1 more after this. Okay. Cloudy says, how does Antonio Williams go in the 14th and Luke McCaffrey goes undrafted? I'm assuming you're meaning Luke McCaffrey, which, if that's the case, in general, I'm completely fine with Luke McCaffrey going undrafted. This is what he's done his NFL career so far. 5.7 points per game as a second-year player. 2.05 points per game as a rookie. He's 25 years old already. This dude should go undrafted. Okay. Now, Mike Washington goes 182. Jeremy Bernard, 183. Take freaking more tight ends. Get these tight ends off the board. Every single time we do this, like, when we're drafting on this side of the board, I always find myself taking 4 quarterbacks and tight ends inside the first 10 rounds. And that's just how you can guarantee you're having a bad draft. Chris Bell goes. Let's pull this around. If we would have known that Rodgers was going to make it back to us for the Metcalf stack, we shouldn't have taken Mendoza. That's for sure, but you never know he's going to fall that far. We are just running back and receiver using the tool. It is telling us that we are probably going to need to take 1 more running back and 2 more receivers. Even though you can see the advance rates that we have on this crap, this team was garbage. This is one of the worst teams that we've drafted. Yeah, this team was god-awful. So 2 more receivers. I'm going to take Tyreek Hill here, and we're going to go, what if he actually does go to the Kansas City Chiefs? And the thing with Kayshon Boutte is everybody's just saying he's going to go to Philadelphia. We'll take Kaytron Allen at running back, and then we will queue up some random receivers. We'll queue up a Troy Franklin, queue up a Pat Bryant, queue up a Tyquan Thornton, Jack Besh, queue up Kayshon Boutte, Tank Dell, Cooper Kupp, Malik Washington, Elijah Surratt, Skylar Bell, Jalen Knoll, Jacoby Lane, Keon Coleman, Caleb Douglas. We have enough receivers queued up. I never want to look at this draft ever again. And let's get into a BBM draft. Oh, God dang. Friggin' box this out. I'm sorry. Let me join on my phone. All right. I'm sorry for juking y'all, ladies and gentlemen. I promise you I'm not trying to. Okay. I just entered in a BBM draft. We've done a decent amount of these so far. It said we had like 123 left that we can do. Oh, and I was looking, I told y'all as well. Let me show y'all the $500 draft that we are doing right now. This is a $500 draft that's not going to get thrown out. It's a slow draft. But I knew that I had taken a wide receiver in round 2 after JSN, and I was eating dinner tonight, and I literally panicked, and I just thought, crap, was the wide receiver in round 2 I took Rashee Rice? But thank God in the only so far legit $500 draft that we have done, we listened to our rankings and we took Drake London over Rashee Rice. Thank God we did that, because I would be crying today if it was the alternative. And yes, $500 draft where we're starting 3 wide receivers out the gate looks very weird. Well, let me pull up the draft that we're actually doing right now. We get pick 3 in this one. So we're going to get an elite receiver. We shouldn't get an elite running back. Maybe that's different, but let's pull this around. Let me update the little buy-in number. Kadarius says, we talked you out of Rice. You asked chat, remember. Oh, is that? Yeah, that is when I asked y'all, right? I asked y'all Drake London or Rashee Rice. Oh, thank you, chat. I owe y'all a massive, massive thank you. Yes, I owe y'all a massive thank you. Oh, y'all are the freaking best. This is why I have to ask y'all stuff. Desire Best going with the unique start of CeeDee Lamb at 1. So whatever combo of guys he's going to get here in rounds 2, 3, 4, 5 is going to be super unique with a CeeDee Lamb anchor. But this is going to allow us to get either Bijan or Gibbs at 3, which obviously I'm just going to take whichever one of these guys makes it to us. It does look like it's going to be Jahmyr Gibbs in this one. We'll take Gibbs at 3. And let me go ahead and pull up on the other window the ability for me to sync that last Underdog draft, because I want my updated exposures in here after the last draft where we went Gibbs, because I want to make sure that we're looking at our stuff. But Desire Best, yeah, going ahead for the unique build. W. Nix says, Cavs fan plus Rice Dynasty owner, I've had better days. I watched the end of the Spurs game last night on my phone while my fiance watched a murder documentary on the TV. And God, the end of the Spurs game last night was so crazy. I'm literally thinking for tomorrow night's stream, like, I may want to watch that game, so I may wait until after the game to do tomorrow night's stream. We'll see. Kadarius Tony says, everybody arguing LeBron versus MJ, but Wemby's going to put an end to that debate in 7 to 10 years. Yeah. I'll say, like, obviously, I am a way bigger fan of the NFL than the NBA. Not even remotely close. Like, I've watched 100 times the amount of NFL games and minutes in comparison to the NBA over the past 10 years, right? Doesn't even come remotely close. Like, massive, way bigger fan of the NFL. But because the NBA players just get paid so much more money than the NFL players and their careers last so much longer, undoubtedly all the best athletes in the world do go to the NBA. And because they can pull the talent, like all the best athletes pretty much in the world go to the NBA given how much they get paid, and they can pull talent from all over the world the way that they used to not be able to. We're going to take Brock Bowers here. Actually, we'll take Bowers. We had a Gibbs-Bowers start in the last draft, but that was in the Puppy, not Best Ball Mania. So, like, it is just a natural evolution of the NBA that, like, whoever the best player of this next generation, because the talent gets better essentially every year, they will by default be the best player to ever play, you know? So there's a real chance that Wemby does end up as, in my opinion, the best player of all time. We'll see. But we'll see how long he can last is going to be the main thing. Fuji says, imagine if LeBron decided to play tight end instead of basketball. Of course, we'd never know. I would imagine he'd be an all-pro tight end at the very minimum. Could possibly be the best tight end of all time, but LeBron's going to retire as a billionaire based on him going to the NBA. And if he would have gone to the NFL, it would have been a very different story. We're going to take a receiver, and that's not going to be Rashee Rice. You look at the highest wide receiver in my rankings, it's A.J. Brown. So we're going to go with it. And also his career would have lasted until what? He was 30. It's just why the best athletes obviously go to the NBA over the NFL. Even though I'll say that as somebody who likes the NFL way more. Fantasy Ace says you're going to hate the rating of the prior team. I knew how bad the team that we drafted was before we even pulled it up. But yeah, I just pulled our drafts that we have done so far in tonight's stream into the draft analyzer on flockfantasy.com. The first draft that we'd had, it was incredible. Really strong team. The Jordan Love, Tyler Shuck, Aaron Rodgers, Love stacked with Reed, Shuck with the ETN, Tyson, Jawan, Rodgers with Frymuth. This team was great. S tier level advancement structure. The one that we did right after, though, the worst team in the draft. I told you all it was garbage. I knew it was garbage while we were drafting it. And we're going to try not to make the same mistake. The mistake we made in the last one, which is going to cost us $5 in, but we're going to learn this so we do not make the mistake in this $25 draft, is we had four combined quarterbacks and tight ends by the time we got to round 10. You cannot do that. We can't take another tight end before round 10 and two quarterbacks before round 10 when we have Brock Bowers. We need to play catch up here at wide receiver. Zom says, what's the little red and white shield? When you do enough drafts, Underdog gives you these experience shields. So I think it's 500. Y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, chat, but I think it's 500 drafts gets you a black and white shield, and 1,000 drafts gets you a red and white shield. I could be wrong, so please correct me if I'm wrong, chat. But anyway, yeah, long story short, Wemby looks incredible. As a Spurs fan, I'm very excited. I may literally wait to live stream until after that game tomorrow. The McBride team takes Loveland, which is good for us. I have Waddle as my highest ranked player, but there's a chance that he comes back around to us. We only have Mike Evans in 5% of these drafts, so we're going to take Mike Evans here at 46, and we're going to see if we get my highest ranked player, Waddle, at 51. If we don't, no harm, no foul. There are other interesting wide receivers that we can take at 51, but I do think if all stays equal here, I probably want to be going wide receiver here at this turn, so we don't have the same exact mistake that we just did in the draft previous to this one, where we got absolutely crushed with the grade. Okay, Desire Best does snipe us on Waddle. Again, no harm, no foul. If we can take a different wide receiver here, I think we'll be fine. Okay. Waddle 48. Vinny says it's 500 and 1,000 for the shields. Desire Best goes Jadarian Price, Lamar off. You know what? We're going to take Travion just because the way the ADP lines up. I don't know how many people are going to have this combo. Yeah, we'll take Travion Henderson here at 51. But we freaking need wide receivers making it to us at 70 and 75. The mistake we made in the last draft is at 75 or at 73 in the last one, we took Drake May. And then we went with another quarterback in round 8. And then around 10, we took a tight end. So in these next rounds, if we want this draft to have a chance, we need to catch up at wide receiver points. Okay. Seiden says, are you watching The Boys finale tonight? So my fiance and I watched the first 3 seasons of The Boys at the beginning of last year, like last January. And then when we got to season 4 in my mind was so bad that we gave up watching it. Like, we quit halfway through season 4, and maybe I'll finish it myself. She's definitely not going to finish it. Maybe as I work on the computer, I'll throw it on the other monitor and I'll catch up on the rest of season 4 and then watch season 5. But how was the newest season? Because I thought, like, season 1, I thought was so good. I was calling my dad, telling him, hey, you got to start watching this. This show is so good, blah, blah, blah. Very similar to, like, Landman. The first few episodes of Landman, I was telling everyone, oh, we're watching this new show. It's great. You need to watch it. And then by the time like the second season ends of Landman, I'm like, oh, I can't recommend this to anybody. This went downhill fast. Combi says Starlight looks insane, hard to focus when she's on screen. Yeah, the fast superhero, I don't remember his name, but whenever he... Okay, let me pull this up. My highest ranked wide receiver is Mekhi Lemon. We are going to take him here. We got the olds at wide receiver. Let's bring in a young at wide receiver. But, yeah, A-Train. I thought it was a new actor in season 4. He looks so different. Like, it looked like they were, like, the way that they shot the show in season 4 was just so damn weird. But, like, season 4, The Boys, A-Train. Like, I literally was like, oh, why'd they change the actors? And we had to look it up, and it's like, no, it's the same actor. Okay. Now, Dak Prescott goes to desire best for the Lamb stack. Sutton goes 73. Here's the thing. The best pick on the board, in my opinion, is Drake May. We had the May double stack with A.J. Brown as... Okay, we were going to take DK Metcalf. I was setting up an explanation. While I understand Drake May is my favorite pick on the board, I have him in 14% of these drafts, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to be able to take him for reasons X, Y, and Z. But now that DK Metcalf's off the board, there is no way in hell I'm drafting Parker Washington ahead of Drake May. I'm sorry, I can't do it. We are taking Drake May, but there's a big asterisk with this, or a big stipulation. I can't take a quarterback in the next 3 rounds. I can't take a tight end in the next 3 rounds. They are off our board. I have to catch up with the skill positions. We can't take an elite quarterback and an elite tight end and think we can take our second option early. So we are going ahead and committing. We learned the mistake in the last draft. It's why we do those $5 puppy drafts. Obviously, it would be great for me to win $100,000 in a $5 puppy draft. I'm no fool. I know it probably ain't happening. I've gotten 16th place in Best Ball Mania. I made the finals multiple times. Maybe I'm even more delusional to think I can win BBM, but I think I can win this. I think I can win the big dog again. I've had 3 teams get inside the top 10 of the big dog. I've won the tournament. I think we can win these higher stakes tournaments. I need to make the mistakes like we just did and nail them into me so I don't do it again. It's so much easier said than done, but we're gonna try to lock in. We are gonna try to lock in here. Okay. Quentin Johnson at 89. And here's what's going to happen. We're going to be just on the clock. I'm going to go, oh, Patrick Mahomes. Let's do Patrick Mahomes, Xavier Worthy. Let's make it work. Okay. How oh my God. Am I supposed to take Blake Corum over Brock Purdy? Is that what I'm really about to make myself do? Jacoby goes at 92. I'm taking Kyle Monungai, and I hate myself for it. Blake Corum goes 95. God. Manly says, my favorite construction through 10 is 1-4-4-1. I think that's a general good rule, my friend. So the quarterbacks that will be available to us in the next rounds, like we have nobody after this. I'm going to let myself, my God. Oh, what? I'm going to do it. We're going to take Brock Purdy. Okay. Okay. But here's where we stop. Wide receiver in the next round. I don't see how I can take Josh. I don't see how I can take freaking Ricky Pearsall. This dude's never averaged 10 fantasy points per game and can't stay out. I'm supposed to take him over Brock Purdy? Oh my gosh. The answer of this is I need to stop taking Brock Bowers. Because the wide receivers just get so gross so quick. I know everybody's worried about missing out on running backs in these underdog drafts. Wide receiver is where we get boxed out of all the time. It's easy to catch up at almost any other position. Let me just take a peek at what the advancement looks like. Yeah, our running back advancement's trash. Our wide receiver advancement's trash. Our tight end... We have A.J. Brown, Mike Evans, Mekhi Lemon at receiver. Yeah, Juke says the tight end pick does it too. I think that's what it is. It's hard for me though because Brock Bowers projects to outscore Nico Collins. So I look at this and go, just let me take the player that's going to score the most points. And then all of a sudden we are in a range where, yeah, Sam Laporta is projecting to outscore Josh Downs and Michael Pittman and Matthew Golden. It's like the tight ends project to outscore the wide receivers throughout the entire draft. So it's no different in round 2 with Bowers versus Nico. But if we take Nico here, and then we have, say, Nico, A.J. Brown, Evans, Mekhi Lemon at receiver, we have no problem with our wide receiver points. Then we don't even have to take this bum pick Kyle Monangai either. We can go Laporta there if we want. We can give ourselves that flexibility. McSanders says, does the historical data have a Bowers and McBride? My friend McBride went nuclear last year. And yes, he's in the past 2 million teams that were drafted in BBM. Okay, let's pull this around. Thank God. Oh, y'all were going to see me rage to the craziest degree. I was about to blow my top if we didn't get Romeo Doubs here. I was about to go insane if all of a sudden I was going to be gaslit into taking freaking, Khalil Shakir of all players. Oh my gosh. Y'all have no idea what y'all are about to see. Oh. Oh, you have no idea what was about to happen. Y'all just got saved. I mean, we can go Kittle here. We're built around the week 17 Philly and Niners game, right? We have Purdy. We have Bowers. So in theory, we can use Bowers early in the season and not have to worry too much about the Kittle production. Kittle, obviously, elite when on the field. The difficulty that you have with Kittle is how often is he going to be there? Or we can just say, F it, we got to still catch up at wide receiver in the coming rounds. That's what we're going to do. I took Bowers. We're not making the same freaking mistake. What did we do in round 10 in the last round? We went, we have Mahomes. We have to take Kelsey. That was the exact mistake we made. We're not making that mistake again. We're taking another receiver. We're taking Jaden Higgins. There'll be tight ends I can take later. No Kittle. No Kittle. We can't do it. Can't afford it. We need the boring wide receiver points. Okay. Now, let's pull this around. Maybe we just save this with 2 wide receivers at those picks. Quarterback, we have Drake May, double stacked or triple stacked potentially. We have the entire New England Patriots onslaught. We have May with Trevion, A.J. Brown, assuming Diana Rossini is correct, and Romeo Doubs. We have Brock Purdy stacked up with Mike Evans. So we have 2 solid quarterbacks with some stacks. Looking at running back, we have Jahmyr Gibbs, Trevion Henderson, Kyle Monunga. Wide receiver, A.J. Brown, Mike Evans, Mekhi Lemon, Romeo Doubs, Jaden Higgins. And then there will be tight ends later. If y'all remember, when we were put into a freaking blender at the 12-13 turn, we had to take the grossest wide receivers ever. Guys like Jalen McMillan. We looked at like all the tight ends that ran afterwards. I think we said that there were 8 tight ends that went in round 13. We're going to get one of those tight ends if we want. Okay. Omi Josh says, I got 44 Rice and a puppy. I think it would have gone further if I didn't take him. Where did Rice go in this one? Rice went at pick 32 in this draft. Ryan says, what's your exposure to Walker? I will pull that up for you, my friend. I have Kenneth Walker in 1 out of 76 drafts that we have done so far this season. Hopefully he does not bury us. He definitely has that as a possibility. Okay. Desire Best has 0% Walker. So we at least have more than Desire Best. Okay, let's swing this back. And we can go with the third QB. I love May and I love Purdy, but pick 75 and 99. Like, we still have a higher advance rate, semifinals rate, and finals rate taking the third QB. I'm going to take Stephon Diggs, though. Stephon Diggs is the highest ranked player for me. I think he became just a little more interesting with the off chance that, hell, maybe the Chiefs are incentivized to go out there and sign him. So we will take Stephon Diggs to pick 142. Okay. Browner says, can you compare your Rome versus Burden shares? Rome, I have in... oh, that's Romeo Doubs, sorry. Rome Dunze, I have in 7 out of 76 drafts. Luther Burden, I have in 4 out of 76 drafts. So I have more Rome than Burden. Okay. My favorite tight end in my rankings will be Kenyon Sadiq. Probably going to take him. Obviously, Hunter Henry gives us the stack. You can just see that straight up here with the highlight. But there's a big but on this. God, I am so freaking stupid. So dumb. I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry on this stream. We didn't check the buys. Bowers and Kenyon Sadiq have the same bye week. God, we should have just freaking taken Sam Darnold. We should have taken Hunter Henry. Reason I was going to say we're not taking Hunter Henry is we already have May, Henderson, A.J. Brown, Romeo Doubs. I don't think we need the 5th New England Patriot. But, God. So I think at that point, instead of optimizing for the 5th Patriot, we can just take the player we prefer and go with our rankings. But in that instance, like, what the hell am I doing? Now, don't get me wrong. We're just taking a 0 at that week at tight end. Or we're not all of a sudden panicking and taking another tight end so we get 6 points in week 13. But It is what it is. It is what it is. Hopefully those 6 points don't cost us an advancement. Hopefully those 6 points don't cost us $2 million. And this is true. We can still take Trey Lance in round 18, so maybe we'll be fine. Aaron says 4th draft. If we hit 400 likes in the stream, yes, my friend, we are getting a 4th draft going. At this point, do I want a 4th draft? Hell to the no. Clearly, we don't have it tonight. Some nights we got it. Other nights we don't. It's one of those nights that it looks like we're just lighting money on fire. Okay. Now, Tajay Spears goes at 162, and we'll pull this around. So I'll show you who my highest ranked names are. And right now, the optimizer's telling us 2 more running backs, 2 more receivers, and 1 more quarterback. Okay, AJ Barner goes. We're going to take Denzel Boston. I mean, he had a bunch of hype to go round 1 in the NFL draft, falls round 2, garbage offense, but I mean, at least has a clear path to get on the field. Tyler Algier goes 167. Clearly, we're not taking a tight end. I guess we could go Fernando Mendoza again. A 3rd quarterback is going to be in play for us. We have Brock Bowers. So we'll take Mendoza as our 3rd QB. Okay. And then now I'll run you through our updated team. Is this the worst team I've drafted? No. It's much better than the one we did right before this. At quarterback, we have May with the New England Patriots onslaught of A.J. Brown, Trevion Henderson, Romeo Doubs. We have Brock Purdy stacked with Mike Evans. We have Fernando Mendoza stacked with Brock Bowers. Tight end, we have Brock Bowers and Kenyon Sadiq. Yes, on the same bye. Running back, we have Gibbs, Trevion Henderson, Kyle Monungai. Wide receiver, we have A.J. Brown, wide receiver 1. Mike Evans, wide receiver 2. Mekhi Lemon at 3. Dobbs at 4. Jaden Higgins at 5. Stephon Diggs, wide receiver 6. Denzel Boston, wide receiver 7. And we are going to be wanting to take 2 more receivers and 1 more running back. Yes, at least we have both Brocks on the same team. Both Brocks on the same team. That is true. Neil, so still a pretty bad team. We'll see what the draft analyzer tells us. Do I think it's going to give us an F like it gave the last draft? No. Do I think it's going to give us a Thanos level grade? No, of course not. Okay, Chris Bell goes 184. Kate Otten, 185. We're just running back, wide receiver with these next picks. Sorry, yeah, 2 more running backs, 1 more receiver. And apparently we are going to get another draft going. We are only 3 likes away from hitting 400. So, sure, if y'all go down there, 3 of y'all hit the like button. We're getting another draft going right after this. Sam, long time member of the flock, says trade away Scat in a late second and get Henderson in the 12-team 1 quarterback format. That is going to be entirely up to you with your preference between those players, my friend. I wish I had more to tell you there, but it's just a fair deal and it's up to you. We'll take Kamara at 90. Franklin goes 193. Lee Waldley already has 5 running backs with Bijan. I mean, hell, he waited so long in his other. Maybe he takes 6. I don't know. He goes Braylon Allen. We will take Katron Allen and go, hell, no other Washington running backs ever guaranteed that they're going to be the guy. So what if? And then wide receiver, we'll queue up some of these bums. We'll queue up Christian Kirk. We'll queue up Kayshon Boutte. We'll queue up Tank Dell, Zachariah Branch, Jack Besh, Jacoby Lane, Jalen Knoll, Kyle Williams, Hollywood Brown, Keenan Allen, Caleb Douglas, Keon Coleman, Elijah Surratt, Cooper Kupp, Malik Washington. So we'll at least get one of these guys. And we'll be hopping in another draft. I got to enter on my phone because my computer's having location issues. But let me know in the live chat right now. Do y'all want me to do a puppy or do you want me to do a Best Ball Mania draft? A puppy or a BBM? The puppy's the $5 buy-in with $100,000 to first. BBM's the $25 buy-in with $2 million to first. I'll do whatever y'all want. Okay. We got somebody saying big dog. We ain't getting into big dog. Not right now. Looks like most people are saying a puppy. Yeah. At least the people responding early were saying puppy. So we just entered. And let me go ahead and pull this up on my active. And we get pick 4. All right. Thank God. Let me start with the wide receiver. Don't get me wrong. I am going to start with Bijan Robinson and Jahmyr Gibbs in these drafts whenever I get the chance. But I like my drafts more. I feel better about them whenever I go wide receiver in round 1. I like it a lot more when we go wide receiver round 1. And in this draft, we got a ton of regulars. We got Kadarius Toney at pick 2. Vinny at pick 3. Twerk for, I think this is Taco Bell, at pick 5. They're in these drafts a lot with us. We got Lee Watley in at 8. Demonic Celery in at 12. And let me know who else is in here, ladies and gentlemen. Let me know. Okay. Gibbs goes at 1. Bijan at 2. Vinny goes Achane at 3 for the unique build. Achane's not going to be going at that side of the board very often. We will take Jamar Chase at 4. And we'll see. Kamala Man says, do you ever do eliminator drafts? Yes, we had a ton of success with the eliminator last year. Okay, Puka, then Taylor. Okay, that other draft just ended, so let me sync it, and I'll see how it grades out. I'm assuming it's going to be, the Best Ball Mania draft will be better than the second puppy we did. I know that for almost a fact. Will it be great? No. It's probably going to be a bad team. Yes. It is slightly better than the team that we drafted previously. We got a D grade on it. .89% composite for the advance rate. That takes into account. So the advancing past the regular season, advancing past week 15, advancing past week 16. Not close to as good as our first team, where we had a 10.29% composite. So we knew hey, I told y'all. The last draft we did, it was bad. It was better than the one we did right before it, but not by much. Not by much. Okay. This draft, here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a wide receiver in the second. Actually, no, we have a wide receiver in round 1, so we're chilling. Omari and Hampton goes 19. My rankings have Bowers as the highest ranked name. We'll try to make it work. We'll try. F it. F it. At least I'm consistent. Manley says, Bowers, you need to learn how to do this without panicking. We'll try. We'll try. Hey, there's a difference with us taking Bowers here at 4. Difference. The other drafts in which we were taking Bowers, we started with the running back. So we'll see. Packers guy says, did you profit last year on Underdog? Yes, sir. We profited about 27,000 last year in our Underdog drafts. I showed the exact math in a live stream titled Revealing How Much Money I Made in Fantasy Football Drafts last year. You can go ahead and watch that. It's about 3 or so weeks ago. Okay. Now, Nico off the board at 26. Jeremiah Love goes, I wanted Jeremiah Love. My highest ranked name after Trey McBride is going to be Devonta Smith. We'll take Breeze instead. We don't have a running back. If we started with like Gibbs, say we went Gibbs, Bowers, and then these were our options available, I think we'd go Breeze. And here's the thing. I mean, instead with Smith. And here's the thing in terms of us taking Bowers at 21 versus McBride at 29. Now that Neighbors maybe cooked with his knee, Rashee Rice is going to be in jail recovering with his own injury. I don't know if I can sit here and say like, oh, we are missing out. I guess Nico's a different player. I would rather go with Nico and McBride versus Brees and Bowers, to be honest. So maybe I shouldn't take Bowers there, and instead we just get the tight end in round 3. We'll see how this draft turns out. Again, this one's different than what we just did. This one we have we have the elite anchor receiver. Oh my God, oh my God. Why did we sell so bad the past 2 drafts? Just straight up sold. Fantasy says, why not take Love there instead of Bowers? Yeah, I think I would rather have Jeremiah Love and McBride than Bowers and Breeze too. Great point, my friend. I agree with you. Garrett Wilson goes 41. God, we are just getting clapped. Y'all are taking me out behind the shed today. Scattaboo off at 43. Burden goes. My highest ranked player is Waddle. F it. At this point, I'm just listening to my rankings. We're taking Waddle at 45. Evans off the board, then Trevion Henderson. This is what I need. Let me get my mind off this. Foil TV says any marathons coming up. So I'm probably not doing another race until November. I don't know if I'm going to be doing I Am Florida or if I'm going to be doing a 50-mile ultra in Austin. My brothers maybe want to do Ironman Florida, which is why I would do that. My highest ranked player is DeAndre Swift, and at this point, I'm just listening to my rankings. I'm done trying to get cute. I'm listening to my ranks. But, yeah, if my brothers really want to do Ironman Florida, I'll do that with them early November. The issue is I live stream literally every single day during the football season, and every single day we're putting out like at least 2 videos, and I'm doing 1 to 2 live streams. So I'm pretty much chained to my desk, so it's so hard for me to travel. And also, I've done this 50-mile ultra in Austin back-to-back years now. And there are only like 150-ish people that do it. And I don't get me wrong, there are people that live in Austin that if they just decided randomly, oh, I'm going to show up to this race, like the guy who's run the fastest 100 miles around the track in history, I believe lives in Austin. So if he just randomly decided, you know what, yeah, let me show up to that race, I have a 0.000% chance of winning, no shot at all. But the course record I looked up is like 6 hours and 40 minutes. And I think I could reasonably run faster than that. So I think I can win this race. So my big thing that I'm training for right now in my mind that I'm hoping that I do, because it'd be easiest for travel with work for me, because it's just a 10-minute drive down the road. And I've done it back-to-back years, and I've been able to live stream on the same day. It hasn't taken anything away from my schedule. I'm just more tired for the streams. Is a 50-mile ultra marathon early November. And I'm going to try to show up and win. But we'll see. Okay. Now, Tyler Warren off at 64. So at this point, I mean, even though we have the anchor receiver with Chase, I still want to catch up on wide receiver points if we can. Okay. Reed goes, okay, honestly, I'm going to be chilling. I'm fine with, hell yes. Oh, we get our first gift all night. Oh my gosh. Oh. Our first gift all night. You wait until it's the last freaking $5 puppy draft we're doing and gift me Jordan Tyson at pick 69. Thank God we get something. Something to get excited about. And honestly, after getting Jordan Tyson here at 69, I love the Jordan Tyson pick, by the way. Like, I'm feeling good about this team. We got Chase, Waddle, Jordan Tyson at wide receiver, Brees and Swift at running back, Bowers at tight end. I'm feeling much, much better. We're going to take DK Metcalf over Caleb. Caleb's my highest ranked player, and we have DeAndre Swift, so maybe you make an argument that there's something there. But we will just try to do our best at catching up on these wide receiver points so we don't end up with the same freaking situation that we had with our past two drafts that just got absolutely smoked. Okay. Now, Justin Herbert off at 80. Fuji says, isn't DK Metcalf taking himself in an underdog draft against the NFL rules? Honestly, hopefully I don't get suspended from doing this. You know what would be all time? Is if Underdog replaced, you know how they updated the Trevor Lawrence picture with his new haircut? If they updated DK, like they put my photo there for DK Metcalf. Oh, that'd be phenomenal. Okay, Pollard goes 81, Dowdle off 82. Caleb makes it all the way to 83. This team at 11 is going to be the worst graded team in this draft. It's super interesting, but you have one wide receiver through the first 7 rounds. Yeah, no, never mind. Now that they take Lawrence there, that team is cooked. That team has literally 0 shot. Yeah, for them to only go Brian Thomas at pick 59 as their only wide receiver, again, 0% chance to do anything. Okay. Quentin Johnson, 89. They'll have a worse composite advancement grade in comparison to either of the teams that we drafted previous to this. We'll take RJ Harvey, and we're most likely going to be looking at Bo Nix on the way back around. So we'll take Bo Nix, double tap him with Harvey and Waddle. Okay. See, and Desire Best, let me make you a mod on the channel, my friend. I didn't know that you weren't. Okay. Mahomes goes 96. And if we don't get Bo Nix, we'll probably take Harold Fannin. That team goes with the Mahomes worthy stack there on the turn. We did that a couple drafts ago. Goff goes 98. Harold Fannin off. So we will get Bo Nix. We have him double stacked now with Waddle as well as Harvey. I mean, Harvey will catch some balls out of the backfield, right? So I think that there is some positive correlation there. So now quarterback, we have Nix with the 2 Denver guys. Tight end, we have Bowers. Running back, we have Brees, Swift, Harvey. Wide receiver, we have Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, Jordan Tyson, DK Metcalf. This is an acceptable team. Us going with 1 quarterback inside the first 10 rounds after we take Bowers, we can make that work. The issue was we were just trying to take 2 early quarterbacks while at the same time, like, we took the elite tight end, which you just simply can't make it work. Okay. Pearsall goes 108. Kyler 109. Patrick says, how do you feel about Allen going almost 2 rounds above every other quarterback? It is well deserved. I'm not going to be fading Josh Allen at that cost. Okay, and this team at 11 is just absolute garbage, taking George Kittle there at 110. I'll eat my words they got a red badge and they got a helmet. I'll eat my words if they end up taking down the puppy with this, but the first 10 rounds, you can't have Brian Thomas and Romeo Dobbs and call it a day. Okay, so in terms of our quarterback stacking options, Stafford doesn't do anything for us. Baker doesn't do anything for us. Okay, Kennedy curse. Baker goes. We're going to take Casey Concepcion. I think he's the last wide receiver in this tier of guys. And then there are going to be a considerable amount of running backs that we can look at on the way back. I'm assuming the Devontae Adams team is after us, right? Okay, so the Adams team has May and Mahomes. Will be interesting to see if they opt to take Matthew Stafford as their 3rd quarterback here in round 10 or 11. I really don't know what they're doing. Aaron Jones, 119. You go Jonathan Brooks, 120. Do they take Stafford here? I don't know what the right thing to do is. They go Travis Hunter, which obviously y'all know I would have liked. Rashad White goes. Vinny on the clock. What is he going to do? He goes Gainwell. We only have Bo Nix. We're going to take an unstacked Stafford. Like, obviously, when you're sitting with a quarterback like Stafford that doesn't have any rushing upside, and if he's going to have a massive spike, it's going to have to be through the air with passing yards and passing touchdowns. Generally, that's not a setup in which you want to take a quarterback unstacked. Like, I guess you can make an argument. You can take a shot at one of the crap tight ends at the very end, but we have Bowers. I don't even think that necessarily matters. But there's a world in which having Stafford here helps us advance, and then we don't even use any of his scores in weeks 15, 16, 17. So it doesn't matter if we have them stacked up or not. Like the Rams fall super flat in the final 3 weeks. And we're going to take 3 QBs here anyway. Like when Bo Nix is our first pick at 100. And our second quarterback's 124. We're taking 3. I'm sorry. I read this in the chat. It's pretty funny. Just completely random. Says, if anyone got the username Filthy on Underdog, I want you to know you're an idiot. That's pretty funny. No idea who that person is, but that's funny. Okay, Malik Willis goes 135. I would have taken Willis if he would have made it back, given the rushing upside. We'll swing this back around. Y'all can see my ranks here. Y'all probably know who I want. Stroud goes 138. Stephon Diggs goes 139. Aronde Gadsden goes. We're going to take Omar Cooper. Good talent, round 1 capital. Garbage offense. Garbage situation. Casey Concepcion, Omar Cooper, we both have on this team. Very similar setups. Concepcion, we got to pick 117. Omar Cooper, 141. Feels very reasonable for these profiles. Okay. Daniel Jones off 143. And here's what we're not going to do. We're not going to take Kenyon Sadiq with Bowers. We're going to remember that they have the same bye week. Woody Marks 146. Vinny goes Bryce Young. So we'll just take Dallas Goedert, 15 picks past ADP, and he will be our second and final tight ends. Let me see if the construction optimizer is going to want us taking a 6th running back or just 5. So right now, very clearly, the math is we want 3 QBs. Running backs, 5 RBs actually has the highest advancement grade. Wide receiver 7 and 8 are about comparable, and then we want 2 tight ends having Bowers. So we're going to go most likely with the 3-5-8-2 builds. But with our running backs being Brees, Swift, and Harvey, I thought there was a chance we were going to take 6, but I guess not. Our receivers are Chase, Waddle, Tyson, Metcalf, Concepcion, Omar. Okay. Fantasy Ace, yes. Geno Smith incoming. We're all in on the Jets here with Brees and Omar. Hawk at 157. For us, obviously, selfishly, I'm looking for tight ends to go off the board. Okay, Judy off 158. Okay. I mean, we can grab another Mendoza team to pair Mendoza with Bowers. The issue with me taking Mendoza where we have been is I'm afraid this is somebody that just like in August, everybody's going to say, no, Cousins going to start, Cousins going to start, Cousins going to start. And Mendoza just slides down because everybody, I mean, even though it's something that should already be priced in. Antonio Williams off. We are not taking a tight ends. Rodgers off. We'll take out, if we are only going to be able to take 5 running backs, I want to get some running backs here. And Denzel Boston, we already have 3 rookie wide receivers. I don't have a 4th rookie receiver, so we're probably crossing them off our board for this draft. This is a really good point. Closing line value past 160 is meaningless. Yeah, you are probably correct. Okay, Emmanuel Wilson goes 169. Brissett off 170. Yeah, we'll probably take Mendoza. And here's the theory with us maybe having an unstacked Stafford and then obviously Mendoza paired with Bowers. As if Mendoza doesn't start for the first month of the season, we get a couple usable Stafford weeks that we need. And then in weeks 15 and maybe 17, we get massive spikes from Mendoza and Bowers. And then we maybe get a week 16 Bo Nix as well as Jalen Waddle, right? So we definitely need that third quarterback here nonetheless, though. Schultz 175, Denzel Boston 176. I really like the Denzel Boston cost there. I think it's a really good pick. Again, I think Denzel Boston would have been appealing for me. The issue was we just took too many rookie receivers as is. Dylan Sampson goes. Chris Bell. We are not taking another quarterback. We are not taking another tight end. We are just running back and receiver. Emmett Johnson, 181. And you can see all these players have been rising up in ADP. Tank Bigsby, Alvin Kamara, as well as Jeremy Bernard. And Ryan Flournoy as well. I guess Mike Washington has fallen dramatically. Since contest opened, Mike Washington's fallen 42 spots in ADP. And generally, when these players have those massive falls, they're going to continue to fall as well. Manley says, Maddock convinced me that Boston's bad. I wonder if he scores fewer points than Judy. The thing about Denzel Boston, in my opinion, is given the depth chart and the draft capital, I think that he's almost guaranteed to get on the field this year. And just taking a wide receiver that's guaranteed to get on the field at 176, that we don't know if they're good or bad, I think is good process. Ray Davis goes 187. I'm going to take Kamara here as our fifth RB. And then we'll slam two boring wide receivers to round out this draft. Like, I had Michael Wilson as a top 5 player that I drafted last year. And the reason was he went in this range of the draft, and I thought he was bad, but I just took him consistently because it was like, oh, okay, well, I know he's going to be on the field and he's going to run a ton of routes. And it's very hard to say that about almost anybody that goes in this range of drafts. Okay, we have Adonai Mitchell off 192. Tyquan Thornton goes 193. Zachariah Branch 194. God, we're just going to end up with another rookie receiver, aren't we? Jeremy Bernard goes. So instead, we may take... No, we're going to take the boring pick of Cooper Kupp. Speaking of just someone I'm pretty confident is going to be on the field. And then we will queue up some random wide receivers that stack with our quarterbacks here in round 18. And then some other... I don't want to be queuing up these rookies like Surratt. Let's get Surratt off. I mean, we already have so many rookie receivers on this team. But I think we're probably going to call the live stream here. I obviously really appreciate all of y'all hanging out with us as always. And yeah, thank you so much for everything, ladies and gentlemen. I genuinely really look forward to doing these drafts with y'all every single night. It's a ton of fun for me. And I mean, y'all showing up makes it way more fun than if I would have fun doing it by myself. But it's definitely a lot more fun with y'all here. So I thank you for that. Even if we drafted some bum teams today, I think this last one we drafted was pretty decent. We're learning our lessons. Elite tight end is pretty damn hard to make work, just like it was last year, just like it was the year before. something we should have learned a while ago, but of course I am not that smart. Now, I will be live tomorrow, as I always am. Maybe it's going to be a little bit later because I may try to watch some of the Spurs game. But yeah, thank you. Thank you for everything. If y'all want to draft with us on Underdog Fantasy, code FLOCK gets you $50 added to your account after you play your first 5. And also, you'll get access to all the best ball tools on flockfantasy.com, all my best ball rankings on flockfantasy.com as well. That way, hopefully, you have an edge in these drafts. I mean, I love these drafts. I think they're a ton of fun. They're no time commitment at all during the year. So I draft hundreds of teams every offseason. So I've profited over $127,000 in underdog drafts over the past 4 seasons. Links in the description, comment section, code FLOCK. Much love, ladies and gentlemen. I really do appreciate you. And I really hope I get to see you out in that live stream tomorrow.